Hello people of YouTube and subscribers of Zombusters, this is SuperNat556 and I'm bringing you part 3 of mine and Warno2010's attempt on Shangri-La. It's not a bad attempt, to be honest. I'm not disappointed by it. Could be far worse, could be a bit better, because as you will see, you'll just see. We'll leave it at that. Shangri-La as a map is, I'd say, quite good. By the way, we're watching Warno's screen. He recorded this, so you'll see him not ever down as freaking usual. It's a good map, to be honest. It's a very good map. I think it's the best downloadable map Black Ops have released, without a doubt. Ascension was okay. It wasn't great, but it could have been worse. Call of the Dead was intuitive, but not quite. It had its flaws. You know, the zip lines and the flinger were brilliant, without a doubt, but it's that... Do you know what I mean? Maybe you don't, I don't know. But, George Romero ruined it, basically, completely. Yes. Well, no, he did. Right, you see the spinny thing? Yes, the thing he was just knifing. Not the monkey, the monkey! When that reaches just behind the Pack-a-Punch machine, that's when you are ejected from Pack-a-Punch, which is why it's slightly like the Kino de Toten Pack-a-Punch. You only get X amount of time. It's quite fun, because, well, if you haven't seen it before, whee! Basically water flows down and you're basically shrugged off the Pack-a-Punch thing. That's pretty much it. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it could be worse. Just teleporting out is dull compared to that. I don't know. I guess one of the reasons this is slightly better is that, Call of the Dead was a frozen, hostile wasteland. Like Canada. No, not Canada. I like Canada. I meant Antarctica is what I meant. Let's go with that. And it was just, it didn't project like the best image. It was it's a good map, and obviously it's ruined by George Romero. But, well, in my opinion it is. When you kill him you get a free perk, yay, but when you kill the monkeys on Ascension without losing any perks you get a free one, so same thing really. Well, no, not really, but you know. This one is set in the not the jungle, it's set in Shangri-La, and you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go into Shangri-La. Right, Shangri-La is supposedly a mythical heaven-like place, hence paradise. When you send the original characters to paradise. It's hidden in the Tibetan mountains, and it's only known by a select few of a cult of Buddhist monks in Tibet, as far as I know. I think, feel free to correct me in the comments, it's absolutely fine. My knowledge of this isn't as good as it was. But I believe it was... not Columbus. Francis Drake. So Francis Drake, who not originally discovered it, but had the first inklings that it was real, that it existed, and he searched and searched, but as far as I know, he either never found it, or he did, and he actually tried to bring back evidence but died suspiciously or something, or he was murdered by someone who fancied Queen Elizabeth I. I don't know. Sir Francis Drake was like, yes. With Shangri-La, it's been searched for by many people. It was the heart of Uncharted 2, that game, which was a fantastic game, but I only played it once. I can play it more than that. It was boring. And supposedly, all the great civilizations have roots back to Shangri-La. For example, there are Viking helmets supposedly found there. There'll be Roman. Oh look, I'm down. Isn't that normal? Not normal. Isn't that surprising? I was being sarcastic. Yes. Oh, almost went down to a brawler. So there will be Roman uniforms there. There will be, well, I realise I use the word great, and I mean great as in powerful. I don't mean great as in good all the time. There will be Nazi uniforms there, but that's probably because Hitler was a superstitious retard. Well, no, he's not retarded for being superstitious. He's retarded for persecuting the Jews for absolutely no reason. Yeah, I mean, supposedly there will be all the great. I mean, the Vikings. They're supposedly there as well. Not the Saxons, but they're not quite. They weren't quite as successful. I mean, they conquered Britain. That's difficult. No one's ever done that before 1066. No one's ever done it afterwards, and that is true. But yeah. And it's just the entire story of Shangri-La is just fantastic. I love myths and stuff like that, and I try to look it up as often as I can, but I mean, last Napoleon tried to send troops there, just like he sent troops to Egypt, and as did Hitler. I mean, Hitler sent troops all over the world looking for artifacts, completely for no reason other than superstition. Superstitions that in no way were true. Oh, I have a Galil. I thought that was a 74U. Oh dear, I'm terrible. Sudden realisation there, people. But yes. So yeah, Shangri-La itself has a lot of real world histories. The dragons, like all the dragon statues, I'm not too sure on, because I think the dragon is a symbol of China, and the Chinese have nothing to do with Shangri-La. It's like Buddhist. It's a Buddhist thing. Shangri-La itself is often used for, you know, a metaphor for paradise. But the Chinese, I'm not too sure with the Chinese. China is where my history always falters. I'm good with Rome. I'm good with the Greeks. I'm good with British, obviously. I'm good with the Vikings, good with the Saxons, good with the Normans, who are actually Viking, but don't let me get into that. I'm good with the French, relatively, good with the Germans, good with the Russians, relatively, good with the Americans, pretty well actually, etc, etc. But yes, apart from the Mongols, the further east I go, the worse my knowledge is. I mean, I know Japan was isolationist, but that's about it. Well, yes. Okay, history lecture over, because you're probably all very bored by now. Now you feel like my friends. They don't care either. Yes. So yeah. Shangri-La is just a really interesting story. That's pretty much it. We're coming to the end of this part. In the next part, part 4, you will be listening to Warno2010 again. He will probably mock me for my many downs that are inevitable. And he's hoping he's very witty and makes you laugh. At least someone can. I'll talk to you guys in part 5. Have a good one. See ya.